Greetings, greetings, family, near and far and wide, on planet, off planet, in the planet. You don't know it, go already. If your nature's agreeable, as always, step this way, man. We can't work with agreeable people, then. Disagreeable, if you're predominantly disagreeable, then it can't work. We need the balance. You understand? Mayu.
Yeah, my throat chakra's vibrating at its optimum level, and I swear to God, I don't like them devils, but you know what? I love them devils. You know why? Because whoever can anger you can control you, not me. I gained that emotional strength and that mental strength. Trust me, I went up tenfold. And the more you give is the more you receive. Then eventually, you'll achieve your dreams. Trust me, it's not no joke out here. Keep raising your soul in order to achieve your goals. And we're back with Ladycrowne. And we don't stay down. We stay up and we don't chat pop because it's real talk. Episode 78. And I'm Ross back again. Because the sun shines on the righteous.
Trust me.
Real life.
You better know.
You better know you're not star. But yeah, man. Greetings to you all, you know. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Oh, gosh, man. And yeah, I just like to say this because it's on my thought patterns. The more that I know, the more I say less. And the more that I grow, the more that they test. And trust me, you gotta realize that this journey is gonna throw you many tests, you know. Just be prepared for it. Keep on tapping in, like I like to say, every single second, because I really live by my mantra. Shout out to the people that tapped into that Way Within freestyle. It's one of my best freestyles out there. And it always resonates with me because, trust me, it's real to the bone for me. Because I really went through that trauma in order to get to this mental state. Shout out to all the people that are going through pain. Shout out to the people that overcome the pain and living the best life now and helping others out there. Because just like my mentor said on his live stream recently, the people that become leaders have to go through suffering, you know? When you're in your comfort zone, you know what I mean? No. You're not really leading.
No, without friction, there's no growth.
Like David Goggins said, shout out to Ladycrowne out there. It's real life.
You know, you get them friction burn, then ting like what? But yo, without friction, there's no growth. It's not possible.
It's real life, man.
We have to have experiences.
Because we grow from that, and we can learn from our mistakes. We can learn from our pain, and transform it. You know, become an alchemist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm into dipping now. It's gone really cloudy up here now. You can probably it's just a change, but yeah, we give thanks and praise to the Most High.
Gratitude. You know?
Oh, absolutely, gratitude. Without the SU1 sun, we wouldn't be here speaking to you now. Probably last about 2-3 weeks on the planet. Everything did. You know what I'm saying? So give thanks. You know, worship that sun if you want to worship an entity or a being. Worship the sun. You know what I'm saying? And when I say worship, I mean go and get those vitamin D rays. You know what I mean? Get boosted up. If cells all charged up just by standing there and, you know, looking up into the sky and, you know, moving your head from side to side. You know, they call it sun gazing, or you actually look directly and just keep blinking at the sun. Blinking, you know, the rays. I'm telling you, you just feel proper boosted.
Charged
you know?
up.
Yeah, it's like you put your phone on a quick charge and then put up.
Boom.
It's 100%. That's what you get. You know, and they try to take all that away from man out there. You know what I mean? By telling you to stay in your yard and, you know, don't talk to nobody and don't this and that under the guise of what? As you all can see now, it's all unraveling, isn't it? Right in front of your faces, it's unraveling the bullshit, because that's what it was. It smelled like bullshit. It is bullshit. It was bullshit. You know? Listen, everything that's taking place on the planet right now, all the chaos, all the upheaval, all the pain, all the hurt, the loss of life, everything that is happening on the planet right now, it's been expedited, and more people are talking about things that are taking place because it's more prevalent and relevant, you know, to the times that we're in. But this is just the way it is. What I would recommend is that you don't get caught up in it. You know, when you acknowledge something, because that's what you're supposed to acknowledge it, but then don't get caught up in it, because then you're going to get sidetracked and you're going to go down on a path and probably never come back from it when there's so much more going on in the world. You know what I mean? Because whenever things happen, and if you see MSM, mainstream media, Medea, jumping on it all over it, then you got to know that this is where they want you to focus. Did I do them deep breathing?
Shouts to Winhoff.
Yeah, big shouts out to Win. Cold shower this morning, shot shit out of me, but guess what? I got in there as I do. Yeah, so it's so when the mainstream media are all over it, you always have to question it because we already know so they don't really they do report because the report means to no report. They're not journalists, investigative journalists. You know what I mean? They don't actually tell you the real, and they don't have the evidence to back it up. I what them say, So don't get caught up in it. Acknowledge it, but don't get caught up on it in it. Be in the world, but not of it. You know what I'm saying? In it, not of it, because then that's how you can navigate your vessel through these choppy seas. Because trust me, the seas are choppy, and they're going to get even choppier. But if you build your vessel strong, then trust me, you can navigate through. Yeah, that's what we got to do. That kind of rhymed up, STS.
Yeah. You're barring, isn't it?
Yo, man, we don't even, we don't even put in any effort into it. It just started to flow off the tongue. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, what we got? What we got for you? Because me have to just look and see what's going on and certain things and just say, yo, let's just talk about this and then swiftly move on. Okay. Let's start off with Damar, right? Man, NFL player. 1 week later, they say Malta Aspeclan. Just go and have a look at the videos of him out there. If you're not stupid, you'll see what I see. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the brother. That brother, transition on that pitch, on that field. But we're going to get the lots of focus on it, and that's where everybody's going to be talking. But in the meantime, there's another young brother, 25-year-old, Jesse. Let me see if I can find his name on here. Jesse Lemonnier, 25. Wasn't an NFL player. I think he played for the Lions. Played about 7 games for the Lions. 25 years young. Dead. Drop out. They're not quite sure what caused it. And on top of that is, his queen was expecting their baby. Can you imagine having to go through that? That baby being born into this world and your young daddy gone. The elephant in the room, they need to talk about it and really discuss what's going on. Young men and women don't check out like that. It doesn't happen. Yeah, not like the way it's happening right now. Gosh, thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, his woman, the unborn baby, all of those connected to him, because we don't come in this world. You might come in this world single if you're born, twin or triplet, and even when you're twin or triplet, one have to come before the other. 2 will not come at one time. But so we're all interconnected. They've had marches and protests going off in Memphis for Tyree, who was, from all accounts, brutally beaten by 5 officers. But yet again, media all over it, but they're not saying that these officers were just like Tyree in terms of their ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? These were Nubian black police officers. So why am I not talking about it? If there were 5 white officers, I guarantee you the conversation would be totally different. Maybe the marches wouldn't be so peaceful because they're peaceful marchers. Because I remember, what's the other brother that they killed during the lockdown?
George Floyd.
Listen, there was burning down, all sorts of things, and it was going up when George Floyd transitioned. Yeah. So you can see it again where the focus goes and how they control the narrative. Talk about it. There were 5 black officers that beat the crap out of this young man and killed him, murdered him. They're all been bailed, released on bail. Them man there, if they committed such a heinous crime on their body cam, doing fist bumps and complaining about one of their legs being hurt when this young man's in handcuffs, bawling out for his mother and literally dying in front of them. Well, should they be on bail? I don't think so. It's a pantomime. It's a theatre. It's theatre of war. That's why sometimes they refer to war as a theatre of war. And when you know what theatre means, it means it's a stage.
I was just about to say that the world's a stage.
Yeah, it's a stage.
I remember asking you just before you put on the camera. Who was the last person that come to you with good news? You can answer me.
No.
Why is that? It's because of the collective programming. You know, like my mentor likes to say out there, yeah, a lot of us have got an appetite for bad news. The reason why is because negativity spreads wide and far, like Ladycrowne likes to say. But positivity, people don't really want to hear it. It's because of the conditioning, you know, because I'm really in touch with the internal world and reconditioning my mind all the time, every single second, to think in a positive way. My focus is always drifts back to self and how I can improve my internal condition. Whereas a lot of people, they focus externally, and it's not always negative, but for the most part, especially the mainstream media, near enough all the time, it's always death. It's always. I'm not saying those things aren't happening. Of course they're occurring, but the fact that they focus on that nearly 90% of the time.
I think it's more like 100%.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I can't.
All the time, it's constant bombardment.
You will never hear anything positive
of negativity
on the news.
And then we regurgitate that, and then it spreads like wildfire. So everyone's thinking about the same thing. You know, I said to Ladycrowne, like every single interaction we have, we stimulate our thought patterns because it's an action, and for every action, there's a consequence within and without. You know, and when you really get down into the nitty gritty, and you start reconditioning your mind, you'll realize, oh my God, it's all about my focus. Because wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. You know, we need to start tapping into positive manifestations for ourselves and others. I'm not saying don't recognize what's going on.
We have to acknowledge what's going on in the world.
But to put all your focus there, you start creating that reality. Because you trust me, it's the programming within that's really controlling your external realm as well. You know, whatever you focus on, trust me, like my mentor likes to say, it grows, man. So I make sure I focus on what I want to manifest. You know what I mean? Instead of what they're trying to create for you in terms of that reality. Because this is why so many people have got so much fear. Because all they've been, okay, let me give you an example now. Just come to me right now. MK Ultra. They know the mind works. If you program somebody to constantly watch horror movies, fearful, they're going to regurgitate, because that's how the mind works. Whatever you download is what you're going to upload. You get it? And because I'm downloading information that is positive for my life, that's what I'm uploading. You know, it all comes down to what you're focused on. You know, it's so key. When I really learned about that focus creates reality, I start focusing on the things that I want to create, you know, not their reality, because that's not mine. That's not mine. That's an external realm. Your real reality is internal. You get me? So just focus on that, man, and try and recondition your mind as much as possible to be one of love and light, man. Because trust me, the darkness is there, but you can change that every single second to be one of light. You get me? Because the programming is there from 0 to 7 years old. But in order for you to change that, oh my God, you're gonna have to deal with your pain. And a lot of people don't want to deal with the pain. They love to express their pleasures of life, but not their pain. And this is why a lot of people are insane. You know what I mean? They're not staying sane within, like me, Savior. Trust me. Realize that you've got the power to change your internal condition. And when you change your internal condition, you change your external realm. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't realize, trust me, 95% is your internal. That's what you should be working on. Not that 5% illusion that they're giving you. Trust me, man. Shape your own reality, man. Take your power back. I'm so big on it because it saved me. It's a different energy that I'm coming with. You know what I mean? Like, trust me. I get why a lot of people tap into it, but at the same time, yeah, don't make it your main reality, man. Do you, innit? Do you. Because without doing you, you're going to be doing somebody else's thing. You know what I mean? Their reality. And last thing I'm going to note this on before I bring Ladycrowne back in, yeah? Like Wizard of Oz, when you go behind the curtain, there's an old man there. And a lot of people, yeah, they don't realise, but don't get twisted, a lot of people are waking up as well. When you go behind that curtain, you'll realise, guess what? For me, I'm going to flip it. It's not even an old man like in the Wizard of Oz. Guess what it is? It's a mirror. Why am I saying that? Because it's a reflection of you. That is the power of you. The power is in your hands, you know? Not in somebody else's. But as long as you focus on their reality and you create it within your mind, then you're a representation of the Matrix, you know? Take your power back, man. Become Neo up in this thing and live your best life.
I agree, Ashay.
Blessings, man.
Okay. So those are the things that's happened recently. One thing that they, like I said, the mainstream media is 100% controlled. We have another young brother who is his name is Jordan Tristan Walker, and he is a director of research and development, strategic operations, and mRNA scientific planner. And he works for the one of those companies that make the moonshot, the one beginning with P, yeah, and ending with R. Now, I think he was trying to impress his date. I think it's the third date that they've gone on. But what he didn't know was that this man was an undercover reporter for Veritas, and he recorded him, filmed him, and recorded the conversation. And it's quite disturbing, the conversation that he had. He talked about creating mutations of the virus and essentially creating the solution to the mutation that they created in order to generate, lots of money. Wow. It's still on the internet because it's not been scrubbed. It's still there. I suggest you go and watch it. It speaks volumes, and it really makes you understand what's really, really going on with regards to their
Bamboga.
yeah, the things that they like to produce. That we're talking about gain of functions. These are things that no man or woman should dabble in. It's a no. It's a no-go area. But as always, you'll always find your Frankensteins. Wherever there's demonic forces, you'll find your Frankenstein type of people, them that want to just kind of do things that you just wouldn't want to do. But if you're intent on creating your own creation, you're not content with the perfection of our creator. You want to be the creator, then you'll do all kind of wicked and mad things. And yeah,
you just reminded me about something. Maxwell Chikinbatsu. He created TV with radio frequencies. Shout outs to him, man.
Has anybody been able to get in contact with him? So you're not making him stop working with his brother.
He's got a couple of videos up there. People are amazed by his videos.
On YouTube?
Yeah, sure, it's on YouTube.
I'll see if I can find it.
Ralph was talking about it.
Okay.
But yeah, he's self-made, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's an engineer, so he started making his own creations.
Yeah.
We're truly powerful when we tap into our creative power.
Yeah.
That's been suppressed by the educational system and just the matrix itself. Because a lot of us are clones. A lot of us have become like everybody else, not being ourselves. True. So it's about really doing you. Being unique, man. You know what I mean? You
need to know who and what you are
in order to trust me.
And know, it's even the energy, and it's all free. All energy is free.
Tesla.
You know what I'm saying? it's just been, the technology's been suppressed. When somebody suppresses a technology and gives you something that they want to give you, then they can charge you for it. But it's free. They've harnessed it from the planet. You see those big pylons when you're traveling, the big pylons, all the cables. Why are they out in the open, in the air? Why? Because you could quite easily dig up road and put them underneath. It's because they're harnessing the energy from the universe.
It's true.
Transporting it to your home and then sending you a bill for something that's free. The birds, the bees, every living creature upon this planet, yeah, apart from when you domesticate animals and them they wait for them puss food or dog food because they can't go and hunt. Because you're taking away that nature from them. They've now become domesticated. Now they're reliant on the owners to go buy 2 tin of food and give them. Yeah? So have we been domesticated then? Because we're reliant on them for light, for heating, for food, for water. Can you see? Have we become domesticated?
Remember that website, KeishaFoundation.org?
Yeah.
Oh, some of the technology on there.
Yeah.
Wow. Remember the water machine? that
Yep.
creates water out of thin air.
Yep.
Because it's all frequency.
It's all
You know?
frequency. It's
You know?
all out there. The technology that been suppressed for hundreds of years, probably thousands of years. Trust me, they are emerging. They are coming out. It's got to look in the right places. You know, the scalar energy, and you know, there's so much. The med beds. People say, "Oh no, there's no such thing as." They're
they're
there.
here. In fact, yeah, not
They're
coming.
already here. Trust me. Those med beds have been used all over the world to help out those little people that were in those situations under the ground, if you know what I'm talking about, because they need it. Trust me. The horrors that took place. You know, if you watch your worst movie that was a horror movie, pales into significance to the reality of some of these children and men and women that have been, you know, held in those places. You know, so those technologies exist. You know what I'm saying? There's healing energy on the planet. We have to harness it, but they want to get you to go to your doc or your GPs, your general practitioner. I don't know anybody practicing on me. Yo, if you're not proficient in what you do, why am I going to see you? You know what I'm saying? So they get you to externalize all of your power, and then now you're reliant on what? Somebody else to make you better.
And your frequency within is connected to the external power.
Yes.
And knowing that information is so key to raise your energy, you know, because if you don't, you're going to be at a deficit, you know. Your life's going to present you a lot of struggles.
Yep, absolutely.
A lot of pain.
That's why people are.
That's why a lot of people are
right now. Because they're not standing in their power. They're not standing under common law. They don't even know nothing about common law. The common law is the law of the land.
Yeah.
That's where you live.
Maritime law, isn't it?
They've got you living on the sea. Under maritime law. Admiralty maritime law. So if you don't know that, how can you navigate your vessel? Trust me, you're going to just come on brick wall. As I'm talking about that, the Constitution that Mark Kishon Christopher, Federal Postal Court Judge, Planetary Judge, Muster Master of this world, the Constitution that the Tricks and Trap students and task and force and champions came together and forged that document. You know, that is now available on his website, so anybody can go onto that website. If you make a donation and get the Who God Is video, then you'll get the documents, and it literally tells you what to do with it. It's the Constitution, one that everybody, well, the 192 countries have to live by until such time as David Windmiller's technology is quantum grammar is implemented throughout the world. One word, one meaning. We can't have the crap that's been going off. That's why man and man's fighting, because so and so said this. You know what I'm saying? Because the meaning has been bastardized. You're speaking English, but then you walk into a court, it's legalese. It looks the same, it sounds the same, but it has different meanings. Mm-hmm. So you see how the corruption, that's why you can't win when you go into those places. You're going into a vessel in dry dock for a start. You know what I'm saying? All of these things have to change. You have to have correctness on the planet in order for us to coexist. You know what I mean? With nature. As it is, we've got absolute turmoil, because like it says in their Bible, that what God came down and what? Confounded their language. Why, if everybody's speaking on one accord and understanding everybody, why would the God of this world come down and confound the language? That's creating a hell of confusion.
Shout outs to David Windmiller, man.
Yes.
He broke the codes. You know, he's left a legacy.
Absolutely.
Shout outs to David Windmiller.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what has to happen. When that happens, trust me, peace on earth amongst all men, women, the animals. You know what I'm saying? Everything will change. But we're on the cusp of it. We're beginning to make those changes. Those constitutions, you print them off, do what you need to do with them. You can only do it if you're a man and a woman. Let me just tell you that now. So if you're a person, an individual, a binary, whatever you want to call yourself, then just don't go to the website. Don't bother. Only men and women can actually make joinder with this constitution, and then scan it. Send a copy to the Federal Postal Court email address, which is Mark Chris's email address, and then start scan it and send it to all and sundry. Anybody that you want to send it to, your local councillors, your MPs, whatever, send it to them, because they need to know. Yeah, it's got all Mark Kishan Christopher's details on it because it's coming from him as the plenipotentiary judge. Yeah. So those of you interested, go and have a look at that and just do what you're supposed to do. Stand up as a man and a woman and let the world know that this is how we're going to be conducting ourselves until such time as this language has been implemented. Yeah, the quantum grammar. We have our lovely Rishi Washi, as I like to call him.
I love it when you say that.
Yes, his name, isn't it? Rishi Washi. And he's the Tory party chair, yeah? What's his name now? Nadeem Zahawi, yeah? Man received £27 million. Don't ask me what for. Some offshore thing, I don't know. You know what they call it, but damn corruption will go off anyway. 27 million, which he had an oversight on and didn't report it to HMRC. So therefore, didn't pay the £3.7 million in tax. Wow, wait a minute. How can that be an oversight? You get 27 million. From what me know? Because you know what these men are doing, well, but skullduggery. A couple of journalists started to ask questions, and he then sent his lawyers after these journalists, basically. You know what I mean? To quiet them, get rid of them. But you know, some of them were really good, and they stood their ground and wanted to get to the bottom of it. He eventually decided to go to MHRC, you know, say he was sorry and pay the 3.7 million. But there was pressure being put on Rishi Washi to get rid of him because, you know what I mean, it just doesn't look good for the party, does it? To say that, you know, you got this money, but then you forgot to pay the 3.7 million in taxes, it don't kind of ring true. So Rishi Washi was under all the pressure to get rid of him. No. He's staying. He's saying, in the end, he had to succumb and sack Nadeem Zahawi. So he's no longer the Tory chairman. He was actually the Chancellor of the Exchequer before that. He was the Chancellor of the Exchequer when he received that 27 million. Fiwa, I'm not so sure of. I don't really know. But doesn't, you know, when ordinary men and women are battering and trying to make fashion out of the 1 pence, 2 pence to feed themselves and keep themselves and their children warm. And this man is, you know, got 27 million for, I don't know, I think some hedge fund. I don't know, you know, because these people are ex-bankers, like Rishi Washi. He's an ex-hedge fund banker. That's what they do. How can you be coming from that background? It's that revolving door, isn't it? They just keep going round and then you end up as prime minister, unelected, by the way, because anybody put no X in no box for him. He's just there. Well, I have to give big props out to Carol Vorderman. Carol Vorderman went on this morning and she asked the question, why was somebody that's, you know, she used to be on Countdown, you know, she's a mathematician and all the rest of it, but she's not a journalist, she's not a reporter. But Carol Vorderman had to go on this morning and ask the question that the so-called reporters, BBC, IT, should have been asking. Not one of them. She asked the question. She went on there. She called him out. There's, let's have a look. He co-founded a hedge fund that invested £1 million. Hear me good. He co-founded a hedge fund that invested £1 million in the shop beginning with M. You know which one I mean. Earner on the end. Yeah? I have to just dress it up because STS every now and again he nudge me. Earner on the end. 1 billion. Yeah? And to date, he refuses to say whether he still holds assets in that hedge fund. Hang on a second. This is what people have been given because of this thing that's out there that's going to harm them. That actually, you know, what can I say? The snake bite is worse than the actual bite itself, you know? The venom in it is worse than the bite itself. So you can see the full-on corruption. You can see that this is all theatre, that they're just helping themselves because they know the whole thing is coming down. So as much as they can grab, they're grabbing. Yeah, this man shouldn't be where he is, but he is because powers that be decide that he's going to be there. He's one of those young and upcoming World Economic Forum puppets that Klaus Schwab had under his wing since I don't know when. So he's only in there performing and acting in the role that he's supposed to be in. But it's not beneficial to me or you. So you know what? Send him a copy of that constitution. Write to them, you know what I mean? I always keep saying the pen is mightier than the sword, and it is. Because if you don't stand up and speak, if your voice is not heard, well, you're agreeing. Your silence is you acquiescing. I'm still waiting to hear from the MP that I wrote to. I sent a notice before claim to, not even a response to the email or my registered post liability notice that I sent her. Because they think by just ignoring it, it will all go away. Well, it won't. It won't. If your MPs or your, what do you call them in America? Senators or whatever position them hold. Well, they're all, yeah, call them our politicians, are not standing like in England with Andrew Bridgen. If they're not standing with Andrew Bridgen and making their voices heard and making sure that this moonshot that's out there is stopped being put into the arms of men, women and children, then you must know that your MPs and your senators or whoever they are not there for you. Because that Andrew Bridgen right about now is on his own. He's on his own. I applaud that man. I speak about him every time I come on here because he realised what was happening. And he comes from that background. That's what he studied. And he's thinking, hang on a second, let me look at this. Because before, he believed his government. He believed what they said and went along with it to the point where he had two of them. But then he started to get information that he looked at and looked at and looked at the evidence. Dr. Robert Malone, who was the inventor of the technology, the mRNA technology, contacted him and he said he could not. It was obvious to him what was happening. Yeah, obvious to him what was happening. Now, since his speech in Parliament, and he's been on numerous, obviously they took the whip away from him. You know, I find it fascinating that they call, when you're a part of the Tory government and you're an MP, a Tory MP, that when they take the whip away from you, you no longer are. So does that mean, STS, that you're whipped into submission, that you're whipped into just going along with the party line? And the minute you decide that you're going to, you know, stand up as a man or woman and fight for your constituents and do the right thing, they take the whip away from you. What a thing to call it, the whip.
Yeah, that's all right.
It doesn't, does it? Because we know when you say, oh, man got whipped, what do we mean?
Yeah, act of violence.
Beat you into submission. So as long as you toe the party line, you're good. The minute you step out of that, they take the whip away from you, which means that you're now standing as an independent. You're no longer a Tory MP.
Well, you're better off independent.
Absolutely.
Because now you can navigate your vessel.
And you can speak your truth. But guess what? That means that all the other PMs, members of parliament out there that are representing their constituents need to do the right thing. You need to be on the right side of his story, our story. Because if you're not, Nuremberg Trials 2.0 is coming. Trust me. Because this is nothing like this has ever happened on the planet before in my lifetime. And I'm actually experiencing it and living through it now. You know, I never thought anything like this would ever happen. But here it is. It's here and now. And we can't just keep on ignoring it. So write to your MPs, email them, whatever you need to do to get them to do the right thing. You coming in?
No, yeah, I'm going to pick off the head now.
No, I thought you were going to say something.
No, it's literally just moved something on that.
Okay. Let me just finish off then. The Joint Commission, yeah, well, I wasn't actually coming in. The JVCI, the JCVI, Joint Commission and Vaccine Immunisation, another government arm, have now come out and said that from the 12th of February, only the over 50s will be offered the booster. Why they take it, I don't know, but they're going to leave it at that, yeah. And no one under the age of 5 will be, you know, given the stab and a jab. This is, I'm just thinking this is because of the pressure that they're now feeling. and the likes of Andrew Bridgen, who won't stop speaking about what's happening. Because if it's causing more harm than good, why would you want to put something like that in the body of a 5-year-old? Why? And it's been proven that, you know, these young people, they bounce back. They're, you know, a little cold. They're good to go. They don't need to be jimmied up and jabbed up. Yeah. So I think what's happening is that in the background things are taking place, and now this governing body, this arm of the government, has decided, oh look, actually, what we'll do, you know, from this date, we're no longer going to offer it to over 50s. They shouldn't be offering it to anybody. But remember, when they say offer, there ain't nobody coming knocking on your door and dragging you out of your house and saying, look, you know, this is going in you. Most people, apart from the elderly, bless them, that were in those nursing homes who couldn't run anywhere, had no choice but to take them, unfortunately. And we know what happened to the elderly. The majority of able-bodied men and women went to certain places, their doctors or wherever, these, you know, car parks, because they set these things up in car parks, and people went, you know, mobile vans. I mean, think about it. It's a medical procedure, and people would go to those places and have those things done to them because of what? Fear. False evidence appearing real. Fear. It's so real that people would actually do things like that because they believe what somebody said without checking it out, without verifying it, knowing full well that it was authorized under emergency use. It's still under emergency use right now. That's why they can still, you know, dole it out as they like, because the minute it gets classified, then I guess what? I guess it will be taken off the shelves. Yeah, because it's not helping anybody. It's just causing a lot of harm. It, you know, it's simple. Cause no loss, no harm, no injury. And people have lost, they've been harmed, and there's a lot of injured. I think there's probably, from last counts, 250,000 people now permanently not able to work and claiming whatever benefits they need to assist them because of the results of their moonshot that they've had. It's not good. It's not good. But guess what? We're born survivors. Yeah, we as men and women, as a race of people on this planet, you know, we've gone through so much, and no matter what evil tries to perpetrate on the planet, on men and women, we always prevail. Yeah, because we stand up and say no. And we know, those of us that do know, that we're not here alone. We're not here alone. Trust me. There's adversaries. You know what I mean? There's forces out there that's pushing back. You know what I'm saying? It's a spiritual war that's taking place. Regardless of what you're hearing in, you know, Ukraine and Russia and all of them thing there. Yo, is somebody going to nuke? I don't know. You know? But Putin said, if you don't nuke us, we won't nuke you. So if Putin gets nuked, then guess what? I guess somebody else somewhere else is gonna feel it as well. You know, because the threat and the talk about, you know, war, it would be a devastating war because you know, there wouldn't be men and women on front line shooting rifles or guns. It would be a nuclear war, and that's something that I don't think we want on this planet. It should never happen. But like I said, when evil reigns and realize that it's over for them, then they'll say, well, I'll take as many as I can. I'll be that kamikaze pilot. I'm going to die, so I'll see how many I can take with me before I go. There are evil people on the planet like that. And you need to be aware of that, you know. Protect yourself as best you can. Put on your armor of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? Put on that armor and go out there and live your best life, you know. And don't be curtailed. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Live your best life and give thanks for every day. That's what I suggest you do. At the same time, make your preparations for the madness, because yes, it is coming. And we've spoken about the, you know, the CBDCs. We've spoken about, you know, water and food, just to tide you over, because if, you know, shit hits the fan, then wherever you are, you should have what you need, so you don't have to come out there and deal with all of the madness, because they're going to create it. You know, it will be a theatre, but it will be very, very real. Yeah. Now you finish it up.
Yeah, the universe works on polarity. So there's very good people out there. You just got to connect with them, you know?
Yeah.
And connect with yourself first and foremost, you know what I mean? To emit that frequency outwardly. But yeah, just keep on loving yourself, you know what I mean, and taking action, right action, and doing what best serves you, you know. Things will already be working out for you, baby. Just keep cool, calm, and collected as much as possible. And yeah, man, that's all we got to say.
Yep, seconds is away.
Okay, keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals, because we're there with ya.
Spiritually.
You don't know. STS and Ladycrowne over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace, my people.
Peace.